Hi, I'm Jonathan Youngblood, and I did a project for ECEN 361. My project here is the motion activated light floor. Now, what I did here is that I had a box that had a few LEDs inside. I used these infrared sensors here to help determine where an object is within the box. When an object is under a certain part of the grid, it will turn on the LEDs beneath it. Now, the way that this works is that the infrared sensors will send an infrared signal across the box, and what that will do is it will tell the Arduino, which it's hooked up to, that something had interfered with that signal and it's returning a infrared light back, so it will give you a high. And using logical functions, I'm able to determine which LED block to turn on. And inside my box, you may not be able to see it here, but there's a 3x3 grid of 5 LEDs. Now, so if you're here in the top left-hand corner, I'm blocking this top infrared sensor and this bottom infrared sensor here to match up to this top left grid. Now, some applications for this would be to have home aesthetics, an interactive dance floor, you have home security, and various other applications that you can use. It's all about your creativity here. Now, for my project, I was able to to show proof of concept, though the actual project itself could have used a little bit more on the quality of parts. The issue that I was running into was that I had to use more infrared sensors because they didn't measure the distance. They only told me whether or not that I was able to, that there was something in front of it. Now, this was only a small problem, but if I had been able to read distance, I would only have to use 3 infrared sensors. So that would reduce my cost, and on a larger scale, should reduce your cost by several amounts of infrared sensors. Now, another thing was that the LEDs didn't properly work when I wanted them to. I measured them and I made sure that there wasn't there was too much current going through, that there wasn't too much voltage. There was nothing that that would have blown them. So it seemed that the quality of the parts seemed to really lack in that department. Now, other than that, my project seemed to be very successful. So if we come over here, I can show you kind of how the data flows. So what we've got here is the infrared sensors that hook up to this breadboard here that get the power and ground connected. And then we have these yellow wires, which are data. So these data are then sent to the Arduino, which goes into here, and our inputs. And then the Arduino does some processing, which I mentioned before, about which block it's going to be in with a few logical commands. And it sends these out to the LEDs, as you can see that these wires here, and then they'll show the lights inside the box. Now, I don't have it working right now, but the concept is that wherever you are in the box, it will be able to track where you are. Now, the very last downside to this is that it automatically assumes that there's an object in the box, so the default position is in the middle. The future way I want to go with this is that I want to be able to get different LEDs, perhaps a LED panel, so that way it's a lot easier to hook up and it shows a lot better, and increase the quality of the infrared sensors, and possibly have something to measure acceleration to help predict future lights in front of the object where it's going to be going and where it was coming from. But that is my project for ECEN 361, and thank you for your time.